Hello, blade fans. This old sword back at you again. And we got another Rike knife today. It's a company that I like their designs and their workmanship, I guess you'd call it. I had included this particular knife, which is the M3, in with a batch of other Rike knives way back when I did kind of a survey of the Rike knives and included about 5 of them. I've since done some individual videos on each because I just feel they deserve the attention. So this one, as the label shows you on the pouch, is the M3 G10 OB, and the OB is the color. It's a bluish color. Let's take a look at it. Here you see what you get with a number of more premium blades is the microfiber pouch, and usually have a little silica desiccant package in there, which I think I've disposed of. And here we have the Rike M3. It's a very interesting knife. It's a green color. So first thing you notice is you've got kind of a bluish greenish anodized titanium on one side with an interesting pivot and a very interesting wave feature there. And we've got G10, green G10 on the other side. Lots of cutouts. And a very shiny blade showing through. We've got a titanium backstrap with a built-in lanyard hole raised up. Doesn't make too much of a hot spot, by the way. So let's open her up. Action is very smooth, and you're going to see a incredibly mirror polished blade. You probably catch a little of me and my tripod in the scene. Looks like it needs a little cleaning off, so let's do that. We've got a microfiber cloth here somewhere, so we don't need to disturb the one in the case. I hate smudgies in these videos, but you're always going to get them on a mirror polished blade. This blade, by the way, is 154 cm, not CPM 154, but 154 cm. Not a bad blade. Steel Benchmade was using it for years and years and years on their particular knives. So really, again, with Rike, you get a lot of space age looking designs. If you look at their Thor series, you get like an alien look and so forth. It may or may not be your taste, shall we say. But I kind of like it because it's novel and it's still a good user. Got a blue, call them kind of a blue pivot there. Very interesting design. We've got a flipper tab. We've got an action that is drop shutty completely. Let's try that again. Pretty much goes right in there. And we've got this interesting hook here, which waves out of the pocket very easily. I'm not going to demo that. Don't have a cut-up pair of jeans like Slicey Dicey does. Maybe I should do that eventually. Show you how it carries and how it deploys. Got a titanium pocket clip that is not switchable. It's dedicated to the right side of the knife. And it has a ceramic ball embedded, similar to some custom knives, and I'm not sure who does that, whether it's Todd Begg or somebody who actually sort of invented that. I may have that wrong. Got some heavy jimping on the back strap. We've got not jimping, but some milled-in design features here on both sides of the handle on the G10 and the titanium side. Hardened steel insert. which is a polished hardened steel insert. Very interesting. Contrasts and stands out from the lock bar on the frame lock. And let's see what she weighs. It's not a particularly light knife, but we'll find out. See if I can avoid the usual reflections from my lighting here on the scale readout. So we have 4.195 ounces. Really not too bad, considering that we have a 4-inch blade, a 3 3/4 inch cutting edge, and an overall length over 9 inches of 9 1/8. We have a stock in millimeters of 3.8. We have a relatively thin handle of 0.54. So just a little over a ½ inch. Depends upon where you get it, because you've got basically a lot of milling work there. It's not an even handle surface, but we'll call it a little over a ½ inch. I did say we have a lanyard hole. We have a titanium half and a G10 half. There is obviously in the G10 side some steel inserts to give you the pivot. It runs on bearings, as you can see. It is marked M3 on this side in kind of a stylized script, which is hard to read. Got the Rike logo up here on the blade, as well as, no, we don't have it on the pivot. So really, very little markings and brandings. Got a serial number here, 334, I think. I find their script very, very hard to read. Got the blade steel there, 154 cm. There you can see it. So much reflection. Ergos got a thumb ramp there with really nice jimping. It's a little on the smooth side because it's been polished over, but there's some grippiness there. You got a usable blade choil here for the index finger. If you don't jam it up in there too tight, it works. No jimping on the underside of the frame. A little bit on the butt there. And it carries not really totally deep carry, but it'll get you down in there. Ergos are great. I mean, kind of melds right into the hand there for the saber grip. So cross palm grip, fine. You can jack it back to kind of a squared off hammer grip if you like that sort of thing. Blade style, I don't know what I'd call it. Kind of a strangely modified Warncliffe, perhaps. A nice, long, sweeping belly. A gentle, continuous curve there. Swedge on the top. Relatively thick point. Certainly not overly thin. Let's stack it up against some of the usual suspects here. Here is our Rat 1. And yes, it is even larger than the Rat 1, considerably, especially in the blade. Handles are very similar size. And let me see if I can locate my freak over here. There is the freak. And if we go pivot to pivot, we can see we've got a lot longer blade on the M3 and a slightly longer handle. And last but not least, let's put it up against the Griptilian. Considerably longer than the grip. as you can see. So, really this is kind of a showpiece. Solid materials to EDC it with, no problem there if you wanted to do that. A little fancy for most, I would say. But this is the Rike Knives, and I'll show you one other thing before we wrap it up. This guy here, like one, oh, I'm going to fail it on that one. I just did a review as well on the V2 Rike, and I was able to thumb flip it with that, but we got just a little heavier detent on this particular blade, and I cannot flick it using that hole, probably because it's so well polished that I'm slipping off. But flipper tab, yes, absolutely, positively. And wave feature, absolutely. So, again, the Rike M like Mary 3 by Rike Knives. Hope you enjoyed this. Give it a like and subscribe. This Old Sword signing out.